y'all today?
Awesome. How
Hi,
are you?
friends. So
Hi.
good.
We'll let Sharice get us going. I know we are live officially on Facebook now.
Yes. Welcome, everyone. Yogis Off the Mat, Thursday at 10. Whoop!
Woo.
This week, I will, of course, introduce our beautiful Kelly Carter here, Mrs. Yoga of all trades, guiding us through this really awesome video land and having a ball doing it, right?
Having a ball. Yes, this was actually a really great introduction. I appreciate it because the the driving through what is happening with all of technology is a lot for me. I
A lot.
want to learn it, I want to do it. But for friends that are just jumping on and that are watching now, this moving parts of WebEx and of video and all this stuff, it's interesting. I mean, it's a new.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, I am. I know they're like, you are a millennial. I'm in my 30s, so I guess I'm a millennial, but I'm on the old side of that.
Right.
I am struggling some days with just like the normal Facebook, but we're on. So without further ado, yes, I'm Kelly, and this is Sharice. We've been doing this for a few weeks now, and we are yoga teachers. We love all things yoga, so this is really about jumping off of our mats and what does yoga look like in the real world? What does that even mean? And then my dear friend, bestest friend, and fellow yogi, who is amazing teacher and intuitive chef, and really all things that are kind of that total body package together. Amanda, this is what she teaches, and this is what she loves, and we're going to be doing food with Amanda today, actually. But this is her big claim to yoga, I think.
Yeah.
Yay to food. Thank you guys so much for having me on today. I am very excited to show you a couple of things that are really easy, just simple concepts that I have been working into my daily life, into what I'm eating, into what I'm consuming, and always not just the food, but the environment and all of that other stuff, and trying to figure out what works for me. It's everybody's different and everybody's journey is different. Us to honor ourselves and not try to, well, so and so does it. So and so does it this way, so maybe I should. No, find your own way to do things.
Yes. Hello, everyone. How are y'all today?
Awesome. How
Hi,
are you?
friends. So good.
So we'll let Sharice get us going. I know we are live officially on Facebook now.
Yes. Welcome, everyone. Yogis Off the Mat, Thursday at 10. Whoop!
Woo.
This week, I will, of course, introduce our beautiful Kelly Carter here, Mrs. Yoga of all trades, guiding us through this really awesome video land and having a ball doing it, right?
Having a ball. Yes, this was actually a really great introduction. I appreciate it because the the driving through what is happening with all of technology is a lot for me. I
A lot.
want to learn it, I want to do it. But for friends that are just jumping on and that are watching now, this moving parts of WebEx and of video and all this stuff, it's interesting. I mean, it's a new.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, I am. I know they're like, you are a millennial. I'm in my 30s, so I guess I'm a millennial, but I'm on the old side of that.
Right.
I am struggling some days with just like the normal Facebook, but we're on. So without further ado, yes, I'm Kelly, and this is Sharice. We've been doing this for a few weeks now, and we are yoga teachers. We love all things yoga, so this is really about jumping off of our mats and what does yoga look like in the real world? What does that even mean? And then my dear friend, bestest friend, and fellow yogi, who is amazing teacher and intuitive chef, and really all things that are kind of that total body package together. Amanda, this is what she teaches and this is what she loves. And we're going to be doing food with Amanda today, actually. But this is her big claim to yoga, I think.
Yeah.
Yay to food! Thank you guys so much for having me on today. I am very excited to show you a couple of things that are really easy, just simple concepts that I have been working into my daily life, into what I'm eating, into what I'm consuming, and always not just the food, but the environment and all of that other stuff, and trying to figure out what works for me. You know, it's everybody's different and everybody's journey is different, and it's important for us to honor ourselves and not try to, well, so and so does it this way, so maybe I should. No, find your own way to do things, and I think that's important when you incorporate yoga, not just in real life, is make it real. Don't make it, I mean, make it where it's easy, where it can be a part of your daily routine. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, ladies, for doing this. This show has been just lots of fun. Learning about mentors and hearing how different people are coming through, and actually being able to connect whenever we are quarantining, which personally, loving the quarantine, being at home is nice, but also missing the connection that we have with our peeps. So thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm feeling both of those things. I'm really excited to have some space, and then also I really need to see humans. Like I'm doing the same dance. I really love this. Is really funny, so I want to like speak on it too. For friends that are watching, I see friends joining on now, so hello. But we don't usually chat about really what we're going to chat about, other than let's get a guest. This is all just live. It's just what's happening organically. But what is funny is that Sharice and I had a brief little text this morning that said, hey, we really want to be mindful of letting everyone know, do this thing your way. When it comes to food, everybody has all these schools of thoughts, and then you sometimes feel like, oh, do I choose this one? Do I choose this? What do I do? And then am I doing it wrong or whatever? And so without even prompting Amanda, the very first thing that comes out to me is, let's not put any shame, you got to do your way. Let's not put any shame around food. And so I just want to say, for friends that are like, oh God, this is going to be one of those, let's eat salad and drink all this water and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. This is not what's happening in our lives. This is not what is naturally happening.
Those are great things, but you know what else is great? Oreos. Oreos are absolutely fantastic. And you should eat Oreos anytime you feel like it.
It's so funny. I was just about to be like, yeah, because Kelly and I have had that same conversation where it's like, okay, trying to find balance of what's healthy in our lives, what's sustaining us, what's giving us higher vibrations through our food and nutrients, but then noticing and realizing and accepting and being okay with the fact that sometimes we eat cookies just for every meal, and it happens, and we're just human. And so, yeah, I love that we're talking about food. We're talking about like how we can do cool, healthy things, but also recognizing that we're all super, super human. And it's all good.
And sugar is good. Sugar is not the enemy. Sugar is a good thing. Our brain needs that to be able to think and process. So,
yes. So I know this week we wanted to do a little bit of kind of interactive. So we are going to talk about, as you're making some things for us, we are definitely going to talk about what you're doing and talk about food. But really, what we have kind of put on Amanda to do is create a food item for us, is create something really yummy, something that she loves. And a little bit later, we might talk about the yoga of food and all the weird things, for all of us as teachers. Once you become a yoga teacher, there's all this weird stuff in your cabinet that you never knew before, or there's all these strange like items and herbs and whatever that you're incorporating. And I'm like, I've never even heard of this, and now I'm eating it daily. So we might jump into yoga stuff a little bit as we chat. But I know your big thing that you're really about when you cook for others and when you try to help them is 5 colors. I know that's like one thing that really helps you, and so I want you to share it.
Yeah, absolutely. That is something I picked up a couple of years ago. I don't remember who even said it to me, but I was just like, bulb, absolutely. You should be eating the rainbow every day. And some days that means eating just Skittles. And some days that means eating
Yes, Skittles are 5
salad.
colors.
That's 5 colors. That's okay too. And also, whenever you're eating your colors and you're eating your food, period, no matter what color it is, that you're vibrationally eating that, whatever it is, whether it is an Oreo or a salad, that you're going, this is good for me. I need this. My body needs this. My brain needs this, so that you are putting the good vibrations into whatever it is that you're eating. It doesn't really matter what you're consuming. And remembering to have those positive thoughts, because that's what's really nourishing your body. Yeah, you need the calories and the proteins and all of that kind of stuff too, but you also need to think positively about it. Don't eat a cookie and go, God, this is awful, I shouldn't be doing this. Eat the cookie and be like, yeah, I need this cookie. This is perfect for my body today.
Yes.
So 5 colors a day, eat the rainbow. And if you do that and vibrationally eat, you're just going to see a big difference in how you feel, just in how you move, like not feeling sluggish or guilty, or carrying that extra weight that you don't need to be carrying around, because it's okay. Everything is okay.
Yeah.
So I try to do that, and especially whenever I love cooking for others. It's one of my favorite things. I'm not professionally trained by any means as far as culinary goes, but I have been in the kitchen since I was probably like 4. That's just how we did it in the South. That's where everything happened, was in the kitchen always. We're always making something, cooking something. Did you eat yet? That's just kind of how I was raised. And I love how food brings people together. I love how happy people are whenever they're eating something yummy, and it makes me feel, it really fills up my cup to be able to share in that way. So I've had the pleasure of cooking for a couple of different yoga retreats, and any time that I can get everybody to come over to the house, even though it usually takes me a while to get all the food prepared, but get them over here and enjoying breaking some bread and sharing some ground and some conversations and all that stuff. So well, would we like to see what we're making today? Yes. Are we ready?
Yes.
Perfect. So what we're going to make today is a chickpea salad. So if you're familiar with chicken salad, it would be a variation of that. Of course, a cruelty-free recipe for this round. And a lot of the reason that you find the yogis and that go along that more of a vegan or vegetarian kind of diet route is because of ahimsa and practicing nonviolence against others. And so that's one of the reasons that a lot of times you meet a yogi and they usually have that kind of a diet. But that doesn't, if you don't have that kind of a diet, it doesn't make you any less of a yogi, as long as you're vibrationally eating and being aware of what it is that you're putting into your body. So we'll get started with that. So what I did first was prepare everything. And I have 3 different colored peppers over here. I have a red bell pepper, an orange bell pepper, and a yellow bell pepper. So we've got the roots, the sacral, and the solar plexus chakra all covered in there. And then some cucumbers for our green. And I think it's technically called red onion, but it looks purple to me, so I call it purple. So I have those going on. And then I took our chickpeas already, and so I just opened up a can of chickpeas and I rinsed them all off, and then I put them in a bowl and I smashed them. So you can do that with a hand smasher, like a potato smasher. You could do it with a fork. You could do it with a food processor, depending on what kind of a consistency that you like. I generally like a consistency that's not like hummus. I don't love hummus. I know that's like a faux pas, but I don't love hummus. But I do like chickpeas, as long as they're not like this creamy stuff. So I hand mash mine, and that really gives it a super nice texture. Blech. And then the other things I've got going on over here, key ingredient for me for this recipe is dill relish. So I love that vinegary, nice bite to things. I highly, highly recommend that you throw that in there. And then a couple of different mustards, whatever you have in the fridge. It doesn't really matter. The other thing about this recipe is you don't have to do it just like I did it today. You can do whatever it is that you've got in your fridge. If you have only one kind of bell pepper, then do that. And you can incorporate your colors in other ways. We'll also use a little lemon juice and a little lime juice. So there's your green and your yellow there too. So I went ahead and prepared everything. I diced it so that it's, bite sized. This chickpea salad will be, you can throw it on an actual salad. You could throw it on some bread. You could eat it with a cracker. There's so many different things you can do with it. So as you're preparing your food, you want to make sure that you're dicing things to where you can fit it all, that it's smaller than bite size, that you're able to get it all on a piece of bread or a cracker. And so what we'll do next is take our smashed chickpeas that we've got here, and I'm going to go ahead and add the mustard and the dill relish, and I'm going to go ahead and mix that in.
So friends that are joining on right now, I see some friends that are watching. Jenna, one of our friends that is watching right now, has actually had the pleasure of having this chickpea no chicken salad. So it's like a staple kind of thing that we've had in our group. So for friends that are just coming on, that's what we're doing. We're making chickpea chicken salad. Amanda's going through with some of her favorite ways to do right now, but I know that if you haven't been to any of our events, friends that are watching, and you love chicken salad or the chicken list salad, then comment, tell us about it, let us know what you're thinking. And she's just preparing those cut veggies and the kind of saucy, the mustard's the thing that's going to make it. Yes, Jenna's commenting. So good.
The other thing that you could throw in here right now, if you like it a little bit creamier, is either a mayo or a vegan mayo. If that's your thing and you want to make it just a little bit creamier, please feel free to throw just a dab or so of the mayo in there.
Yes, so Anna says sounds delicious. She's making it at home ASAP. Yes.
Yay!
Yeah, Jenna and I used to work together too at Hula's, and I love our little snack times together because she would always say, "Mustard is free." What was it, Jenna? It's free.
It's like no
flavor. It's free flavor.
Free flavor, no calories.
Right, no calories. Exactly.
Okay, that's a good thing to know. So, friend, we are really not watching calories. We're in quarantine. We've already established that we're eating Oreos all day, every day. But if you were watching calories, free flavor right there. No points on the Weight Watchers.
And then in addition to the mustard and the mayonnaise, if you're going to do that, this is also where I'm going to go ahead and throw in the dill relish. Key. Dill relish is life. And then next we'll do some seasonings. Whatever you have in your cabinet. If you have some, I love to throw in all the things, Italian seasoning. This is a great place for turmeric. That's one of those fun spices that you didn't even really know about until you went to yoga teacher training school. You're like, what is this? What is turmeric?
So while you're kind of throwing everything together, let's maybe talk about turmeric. Did you, Charisse, know about turmeric before? Maybe I guess India food.
I'm like gonna dig back in the files in there. I'm sure that I've heard of it prior to, but I don't think that I really had like invested time and thought into it, after the fact. And I think that true too, like we could take a moment to recognize that turmeric has actually gotten so much more popularity in American culture as well because of the anti-inflammatory elements that it has. And so I've even noticed, at Costco, we're doing all this name dropping today, but that's what we're gonna do.
Right, not affiliated with Costco.
Yeah, no, we have no sponsors yet. Anybody want to be our sponsors? Let us know.
Accepting applications now.
Right. Yeah, at Costco, they even have a huge bin of turmeric capsules. And of course, you can eat your turmeric, but this is another way to get that anti-inflammatory part into your diet. So I think to me, that's been a huge something that's been a part of our lives that we needed to look at more closely. And so that's kind of how it weaseled its way in there. And then even like on that same train for me, through and started getting more in the kitchen, because I really have only started to get more in the kitchen in the last 4 or 5 years and start to get creative and do things and even be inspired at all, because before I really wasn't. Now I find that most of my cooking, it has a ton of flavor, and I get to dabble in, Asian foods, Thai foods, Indian foods, and those are my favorite to cook, I think, because they have so much flavor and I just love it so much.
Yes, I feel the same with a lot of the herbs and spices and things that I mean, what you were raised on or what you grew up on, and so I didn't really know until I started really branching out on my own and seeing. I mean, really, you can get a lot of flavorful food with just the herbs that you're using, and you may not even realize these things are also fantastic. So while we talk about turmeric a little bit because it is popular and people are probably, what is this? What's the buzz or whatever? You can do that as Amanda's doing in a food item where you're just using it for seasoning, or if you've seen like the golden milk latte, this is a thing you can drink your turmeric, and you can put honey, and you can put all these little things. One little fun fact is that turmeric typically likes brown or black peppercorn to help your body absorb. So most things that you see, unless you're just getting some turmeric, powder or whatever that's been ground up, it's going to have black peppercorn with it because it's how we absorb. So yes. So if you're throwing some turmeric in your chicken salad or your chickpea salad, then also throw a little pepper in there, even if it's not so much for flavor, just to help your body digest what you need. And this is for our joints, for our arteries, for all of those things in our body that, yes, they want the anti-inflammatory property. That's what helps balance the Oreo consumption.
Right.
So what are you doing now over there? You've got everything incorporating.
So I've got all the seasonings in there, and then I'm going to cut a lemon and a lime, and I'm going to squeeze. This is a really big lemon, so I'm just going to squeeze half of the juice in there. And again, I don't really, people are like, what's the recipe? And I'm like, I mean, I have ingredient ideas, but not exact measurements, because you just don't really know what you have. And I think it's better to use what you have on hand and not really stress so much. Like, find a recipe, follow it generally, but make it your own and make it what it is that you have already in the house. So I'm adding some juice to this.
Is this a lemon from the garden? Please tell me. Amanda lives in Phoenix right now and has citrus fruit that is doing all kind of crazy things.
My citrus trees are not big enough yet to have fruit, but this is from a dear friend's lemon tree. So it's local, right down the street. That's how he got here. And then stirring this on home. Perfect. So next I'm gonna start throwing in these veggies. And just kind of eyeballing so that I have a little bit more of the mixture that I already have going on here, this chickpea, relish, turmeric, beautiful creation. And then just adding in my colors, adding in my bell peppers, adding in the other bell peppers, all the bell peppers. I love that there's so many colors of the bell pepper. And then definitely cucumber and everything. With the cucumber, I recommend the snacking cucumbers, or the ones that don't have so much of the seeds in it. If you have the bigger cucumber, I suggest that you cut the seed out of it. It just makes it it adds a little too much liquid. Throwing all that in there. And sorry, Jenna, red onion.
I hate the red onion too, but I still love you.
Okay, so for those that do not like onions and you're skipping the purple in the onion,
to do that. Yeah.
you could do something really weird and put like a craisin and or potentially a grape. You know how some people like a sweeter kind of chickpea salad or something. So you could get your purple in a fruit way if you're not weird about mixing your fruit with your savory item.
I like that idea.
I think me too. And all the things, I think sweet and savory are meant to go together, and that we shouldn't be afraid of of mixing things that aren't alike enough. You put them together, see what happens. You don't know. You might love it. It might be the best thing you've ever done. So then stirring in the veggies, and basically we're done. Like the hardest part of this whole thing is the dicing of the veggies to start with. And so once you have all of that out of the way, then it's really easy to put together. So I'm just stirring this around.
And we could put on some bread, or we could really do whatever we want with chickpea salad.
Yeah.
We can do whatever we want. I love the slider buns, the little baby sandwiches. I feel like it's just the cutest thing to put these. And I'm gonna move that camera in just a second so that you guys can really see. So it might get a little funky for just a second, but I'll definitely want to show you.
Yes, take your time with the thing.
And where is it? Up?
Oh, yum! Oh,
There it is.
For a minute.
What, it doesn't like it if I tilt it? Oh, it doesn't like that.
Yeah, I think you can't turn your camera. There you go.
Oh, okay. Well,
there we go.
Beautiful.
Salad. Yum.
Every color.
Every color.
Yeah, so grab some crackers or little slider bun, or throw it on a salad if you're feeling real healthy. You can do it that way too.
Perfect.
Yay!
Okay, so for friends that have joined on or joining on later, we always post these later for people to watch. This is Amanda's chickpea salad, and the ingredients that she used today, you can find at the beginning of the video if you're watching later. But also you feel free, feel empowered to kind of do your own thing with whatever ingredients that you choose. But I want to give Amanda a quick little plug while we're watching. If you want to know about what Amanda's cooking and how she's feeding herself or feeding friends, also she is doing this for yoga retreats and for other friends who are looking for some guidance and how do I eat yogically, without going crazy, then you can always connect with Amanda as well on Facebook and on Instagram. We'll have on this particular post all of her information, but you can always DM me, DM Charisse, if you want to get a little kickstart in recipes that you love, or just connecting with Amanda, connecting with a yoga teacher who loves food and loves sharing through food, then always you can click at the bottom of this video when it's over. You'll be able to click anywhere so that you can connect with her and talk about other recipes and things that she's doing.
Definitely.
Yes, please do. Please reach out, and please don't and don't be afraid in the kitchen. Don't be afraid to mess up. There's so many times that I have had to throw it away. It's a learning process, and you just have to keep exposing yourself to the opportunity to fail. It seems like it's such a bad thing in our culture, but if you're afraid of failing and you never try, then you haven't really done anything.
You don't get to learn, yeah.
You don't get to learn.
Well, I have a quick question for you, Amanda.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, just because I think you have all these bright, brilliant ideas all the time, but what's something that's like your favorite kind of like healthy snack that's really quick that maybe it's a go-to for you?
Go-to snacks. You know what I really love? I really love peanut butter and jelly lately.
Yeah.
But I have been, instead of using a jelly, I'll use an actual fruit, like a whole piece of fruit. And so put some peanut butter on a piece of bread and then cut a strawberry into thin slices and then put that on top of there. And so it's not as refined as the jelly is, but it's super quick, it's easy, it's inexpensive, and usually have something like that on draft. So some people love peanut butter and banana. I'm not down with that, but I do love some peanut butter and strawberries cut up.
If anyone wants to comment on their opinions of peanut butter and banana, because I need team members, I do believe in peanut butter and banana. I believe in that combination, and I think it goes together fantastically.
Yeah, it is a staple in our household for sure.
Peanut butter and
banana, all-time favorite, late night snack. That is her go-to for sure. Kind of going back to something we were talking about earlier of like stuff we learned through like yoga land and food. Actually, people we've talked about a few times before, Laureen, who we had on last week, and Emily, who will be on next week, they work together. And then Emily told me this story that she used to be completely hooked on Snickers bars. She said she would eat a Snickers every single day, and she didn't see anything wrong with it. But she was working on moving towards more of an Ayurvedic diet. So when she was working with Laureen, and Laureen was like, "Yeah, you can't have a Snickers every day," she was kind of like, "No, I'm gonna do it." Yeah. And so eventually, what Laureen suggested to her was dates, like a pitted date with a nut butter. And I remember Emily telling me this story on the first retreat that I went on, and it was just kind of a funny in passing story. And I was kind of like, "Oh, that sounds weird," you know? And then eventually, fast forward, and of course, I tried it. I loved it, and I even brought it to Hula's when I was working there, and had all of my
also loves peanut butter and banana. We've got another peanut butter and banana friend.
Exactly. But this whole concept of like fruit, like having kind of like a sweet or a savory sweet with some type of butter, whether it's nut butter, mixed butter, peanut butter, and finding the right combination of that, it's so good, and then it's so nourishing. And people were at my work even were surprised when they tried it, and they were like, "Wow, that's actually really good."
Yeah.
Really good. That sounds really delicious. I'll have to try that. I think that I'll have some pitted prunes in the covered. Do that with some almond butter.
Yeah. So let's maybe. I love that you kind of brought that up. Just, I mean, this is, anecdotal. It's a story that's just happening. It's not necessarily some statistic of how often does this happen. But from what I find and talking to friends is that it is kind of often that we want to make better food choices. We want to not eat super refined things or super packaged things or stuff that we know intuitively is not really giving us the nourishment for our day. But it's hard to switch that on your brain if you have already, sugar is a thing that kind of sneaks in everywhere around our brain and around even our emotion forms, the feelings that you get when you eat something chocolatey or something really sweet. And so I like that, even though, it's just a story. We don't really know unless others are sharing their stories. But I think a lot of people feel that way, that they want to try something different and they don't necessarily know how, or they think what you thought, like, what date? That is not going to give me, that is not Snickers. That is not what I need. And then somehow over time, your body's like, actually, this is the kind of sugar that you love. This is the kind that is sustainable or nourishing. And so I think that might, because we still have like maybe a minute left, like, how are you feeling about that, Amanda? When students are coming to you and struggling with, I mean, you've already said a lot, be kind to yourself, but that there are things that feel good and maybe are not a Snickers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, looking at what you, going back to what you said about super refined things, super processed things, if you think about it, every time that the food goes through a process, it's losing its energy. And so if it doesn't have any energy to give you, that's what makes it empty, right? And so if we can bring it back to where, like, to where we are drizzling maybe a little bit of honey on your fruit salad to make it just a little bit sweeter or something like that, that you can still get that sugar that we all love. I mean, I think it's our first love, and then we're programmed to, like, oh, this is a treat, this is mean I've done something good, or something good is coming, or we're mentally programmed. And not only is there, and there's the physicalness of what sugar does to our bodies, and finding that sugar that is not gone through as many processes is going to give you more energy. And so I try to think about it like that whenever, because I love a Snickers, candy bar. I love all of that stuff too.
We all do.
But trying to remember that as I'm consuming these things, that I want the energy and the good energy coming from this item. So I want it to be as whole as possible.
Yeah.
So I really love that. I feel like we could probably, close and sum up with, really, if you're looking for what's better, for you, or you're looking for what feels good to you, exploring and experimenting is always the way. Finding someone else's toolkit and doing it exactly almost never works. You gotta put your own spin on it. You gotta give your own dance moves to it. So, you gotta try things and experiment what you love. And also when you're standing in the grocery store and you're like, I have no idea. The least processes, at least from a yogic standpoint, is going to be more energy than more processes. So we're worrying less about calories, less about counting, less even about sugar. We're worrying less about worry. We're really just saying if this looks like the whole thing that it came from, it probably has more nourishment than if it doesn't really look like a food anymore. Except for
Right. Can I pronounce all of the words that are in the ingredients of whatever this is?
Yeah.
I think that's a good little easy mental trick. Can I say all these words out loud?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I love
so much fun.
Yes, I'm really happy for everyone that's with us and is coming on after the fact. Know that you can connect with Amanda through me or Charisse. We'll definitely get you connected, but also through this post. So when we all post this video on our Facebook, you'll be able to get her Instagram, her Facebook, email, all that stuff. If you want some guidance or even just recipes, if you want today's recipe, anything like that, then just hit up Amanda. You can contact her and she will love to chat.
I'd love to. Yes, please.
Thank you so much for coming on, Amanda. It means everything to us.
Yes. And
thank you for having me.
We typically do ask that our guest gives us some kind of closing. Is that if it doesn't put you on the spot, we'd love maybe a little something to kind of wrap it all up.
Sure, I would love to take us through a little rainbow breathing exercise, and perfect. Let's everybody get nice and comfortable and go ahead and close your eyes. And just start with a couple of deep breaths and go ahead and let that exhale come out of your mouth. Nice and gentle, nothing forced, nothing difficult, just nice and easy. Go. And then one more time, take a deep breath in and let out that little sigh. And then as you gently seal your lips and allow the tongue to rest behind the bottom of the teeth, releasing it from the roof of the mouth and sitting up tall and relaxing the shoulders back and down and just really noticing the body. And then I want you to start to reach your navel towards your spine as you press all of the stale air out of the bottom of your belly through the nose or the mouth, whichever feels best to you, until it feels completely empty. Feels like your belly button is almost touching your spine. And then as you breathe in deeply from the belly, then to the diaphragm, then to the lungs, I want you to breathe in that bright, ripe strawberry. Imagine the red and the seeds and the green top. I want you to send that bright, beautiful red color into your root chakra. And as you exhale, slowly allow it to settle and grow just a little bit brighter. On the next deep breath in, breathing in bright orange, noticing the rind, and then imagining the rind being pulled away and each little section of that orange and the little juice pockets that are in there, really thinking about and imagining all of the work and energy that had to go into creating that Mama Earth does. And then as you exhale, settling that into your sacral chakra, right below the navel, into the small of your back, allowing that bright orange to glow bright. Next deep breath in, imagining a nice ripe banana. It's yellow. It's just that perfect amount of firm and soft, just the right amount of sweet. Breathing that in, imagining what that feels like, what that tastes like, what that does for your body. And then as you breathe out, sending that bright yellow color into your solar plexus, right around the waist. On your next deep breath in, imagining a bright green apple, that Granny Smith apple, and it's shining, it's perfectly bright, perfectly the shape of an apple with that crisp, sweet, but tartness as you breathe it in. And as you breathe out, you're sending that bright green color into your heart space, allowing it to settle and radiate, get a little bit brighter as you press all the air out of the body. On your next deep breath in, drawing in the blueberries, those sun ripened, perfectly firm, completely sweet, and drawing that into the throat. Imagining all those antioxidants doing all the amazing things for your body, getting rid of what is no longer needed, fighting the bad guys. And as you exhale, let that blue grow bright in the throat. On your next deep breath in, imagining a plum, perfectly purple plum, shining bright, that perfect amount of sweet and juice, firm but not too hard. And bringing that in to the third eye, the crown space, and the crown space. And then as you exhale, allowing that bright purple color to radiate around the head. And it gets a little brighter as you complete your exhale. And then imagining all of the colors aligning within the body, filling each chakra, filling each cell, filling each breath. And take just 3 more breaths. Big inhale as you fill the belly, diaphragm, and lungs. Hold at the tippy top of your breath. Sip in just a little bit more. Feel the expansion. And then imagine this bright white light, which is the encompassing of all the colors, is the white, radiating through every inch of your body. And then go, ah. Do that one more time. Big breath in, fill the belly, diaphragm, lungs, hold at the tip top, suck in just a little bit more, get a little bit wider, a little bit brighter. One more time just for fun. And then slowly allow your eyes to flutter open. Take a swallow. Smile for yourself in a second of gratitude. Namaste, my friends.
Namaste. Thank you, Amanda.
Oh, thank you guys. This has just been lovely. I want to come back. Cook more things.
Definitely, you will come back. So everybody keep watching. We'll bring on all the recipes and all the amazing things as time goes on. Next week, we are bringing on a friend, a mentor and a yoga teacher that we love. Her name is Emily. And we think, we'll see where it goes, but we think we're going to be diving into Reiki. We have no idea what I'm talking about. Good. This is for you. So we will see you next week. We'll be talking about Reiki, and we love you guys. We'll say bye-bye.
Thank you guys. Love y'all. Take care. Eat the rainbow.